Shalom, Akim. Just give me one second, make sure audio can play. All right, Shalom, Akim. So this article came up today, and in the spirit, man, the spirit was on me to do a quick lesson on this because this is, if you just read the title, it says our allies don't trust us, our enemies are emboldened, and that just reminded me, of the times to come for Great Babylon, man. Great Babylon will be destroyed. Great Babylon. It has, its sins have reached up into heaven, and it's basically everybody is starting to realize how disgusting and evil this place is, man. All right. But before I get into this, I want to say Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Call Halayim Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahah Rakakwatash. I want to say double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who taught us the truth. I want to say shalom to you, Akim, that's pushing the rocks to the four corners of the earth, trying to seal the elect to bring Yahweh Shah back sooner so we can get up out of his wicked kingdom and establish our own. All right, I think we're going to title this lesson, For the Vision is Yet for an Appointed Time. Because everything is ordained by Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, but on his time and when he sees fit for things to happen. All right. So the article says, our allies don't trust us. Our enemies are emboldened. Right. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look up the word emboldened. Emboldened. Right. Just to give you some understanding. So the word emboldened says give someone the courage or confidence to do something or to have it or to behave in a certain way. So basically what's happening is the world is caught up to Esau. Its military, its might. Everybody got nuclear bombs now. Everybody has the capabilities of new technology. Russia with AI. We got these third world countries with nuclear capabilities now, man. We had all these countries that are basically looking at Esau, the big bully on the block, that who are you now? What can you do to me, man? And everybody is also disgusted with Esau for what they've done in Afghanistan, So this is a army vet. I'm going to read a little bit of this article. It came out today. And I'm going to get into some scriptures. I'm going to make this quick, probably like a 10-minute video. This was just on the spirit to get this out. It says a U.S. combat veteran says he's heartbroken seeing what he considers to be treason committed on the American people by the Biden administration, who allowed the Taliban to retake power after fighting them for 20 years. Justin Parks is a combat veteran with a degree in Arabic studies who has served in the Marine Corps and the Army and has done multiple tours in Afghanistan and Iraq. He was a door gunner on his third deployment to Afghanistan in 2010, where he noticed up to 260 up to 260 flight hours. He survived the bombing in Kabul on May 31st, 2017. It was the deadliest terrorist attack in the Afghan capital since the American invaded in 2001 to take out the Taliban. Over 150 people killed and over 450 people wounded. Justin talks in a detached way about the site of the attack being littered with body parts and torsos hanging in the trees. He says that there was no water and no power, and protest crowds pop shot at us for 2 months. His intestines were destroyed. He was close to death. To this day, Justin remembers the smell of rotting bodies. Now, this is just a prelude, and the reason why I wanted to read the rest of this article because there's scriptures talking about how the bodies will be upon the earth like dung. And that this is a prelude to what's going to happen to America. So just to get back to the top, it says our allies don't trust us. Our enemies are emboldened. So now I'm going to get into some scriptures, right? I'm going to start off with the title. I'm going to go into Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, Salakia, chapter 2 and verse 3. And it says, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. And the vision that I'm talking about is the utter destruction of this evil place of Great Babylon, man, aka America. And the fact that in the article it said that its allies don't trust them. Its allies are looking at America like, yo, what have you done? Because if you know anything about what's going on in Afghanistan, the American government had promised the Afghanistan people who actually allied with them that they will always be in their corner when it comes to fighting against the Taliban or any other terrorist group. And Biden basically abruptly just pulled out. And so they say So many people were dying, and the Taliban was basically rape, rob, pillaging, destroying, murdering, and just killing all the people that America supposedly said that they were going to protect, right? But we know that America didn't do that, right? So I'm going to go into and just to prove, and I mean not to prove, but just to show you the prophecy. It's prophesied that America will be utterly destroyed by all nations, even their own allies. So the fact that the distrust is being sown, the fact that the world is starting to look at Esau and Great Babylon with great shame is basically a prelude, to the great destruction that's going to come to this place, man. So I'm going to go into Jeremiah. Everybody already know. Now, the whole chapter is epic, right? But I'm not going to read the whole chapter. I said I'm going to make this as quick as possible, but I think I'm going to go down to, let's see. Actually, I'm right here. Jeremiah 15:14, it says, "Put yourself in array against Babylon round about, all ye that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrow, for she have sinned against Yahweh, by Shem Yahushai." So it says, put yourself in array against Babylon round about, and that's talking about all the nations. Now, if you go into this entire chapter, 50 and 51 goes deep on how America will be destroyed. Actually, I'm going to keep reading it a little bit. It says, "Shout against her round about. She hath given her hand. Her foundations are fallen. Her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua to take vengeance upon her. As she hath done, do unto her. Cut off the sower from Babylon, and him that handeth the sickle in the time of harvest. For fear of the oppressing sword, they shall turn every one to his people, and they shall flee every one in his own land." All right. So we know that the nations are going to turn against Great Babylon, and you see the seeds are being sown right now for the Great Divide, because eventually every nation is going to get so tired of Esau and Great Babylon, aka America, that they're utterly going to destroy it. And this, like I said, is yet for an appointed time, because this is the prophecy, the precepts and prophecy towards it. Now I'm going to go into Ezekiel. And I think it's Salak. I think it's chapter 32, and I believe it's verse 12. I'm gonna start at 11. It says, "For thus saith the Lord thy power, Yahweh thy power, the sword of the king of Babylon shall come upon thee." Right? But I'm only bringing this out because instead of the sword coming upon other nations or upon the people of Israel, the sword is going to come upon Great Babylon, the great sword. All right. Now I'm going to read this. It says, verse 12, it says, "By the swords of the mighty will I cause the multitude to fall, the terrible of the nations, all of them, and they shall spoil the pomp of Egypt, and all the multitude thereof shall be destroyed." Now the pomp of Egypt is the pride of America, the pride of Great Babylon, the pride of Esau. And it says, all the multitude shall fall. All America's armies shall be destroyed. Now, if you read Jeremiah 15:51, it goes even deeper into explaining this a little bit more. But I'm only bringing this out to make reference. All right. Now, like I said, this is all yet for an appointed time. And in that article, it literally says that its allies. Matter of fact, I'm just gonna get that back. It says our allies don't trust us. See, the seeds of discourse are basically being sown, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushua is moving swiftly, man. You see how Esau, is coming in like a flood, mandating the Pfizer vaccine, talking about all the military. Once it's mandated, the military is going to be mandated to get the vaccine. All these things are sowing seeds of discourse, man. All these things, man. But the great trial and tribulations are coming. The great trial and tribulations for the people of Israel, man, mainly the elect. The so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, the elect of those, the great tribulation, which is Jacob's trouble, the great temptation, which is that mark of the beast, man. All these things are coming upon us, man. But the Heavenly Father, has put a mark of exemption upon those who fear him, upon his elect. So because of that, these are the things that we must not fear, but we must be prepared for, man. Let no one deceive us. Because all the, mind you, we're living in America. So all this destruction that's coming to America is going to come to this place. But if you are part of the elect, you will not be a part of that destruction. All right. Now I'm going to go I'm going to end this off. I just wanted to bring this out real quick. I'm going to go to the book of Nahum. Now, every chapter on Nahum is beautiful. Most brothers get into Nahum chapter 3, but I'm going to chapter 1, and I'm going to just start at 2. And I'm going to read this entire chapter. It says, the Most High is jealous, and Yahweh revengeth. Yahweh revengeth, and is furious. Yahweh will take vengeance on his adversaries, and he reserveth wrath for his enemies. And who is his enemies, man? All those that had a hand in the destruction or the disbursement of the children of Israel, and chiefly Esau, and then the Hamites, and thus forth. According to Psalms 83, we know all nations had a hand in our destruction or our disperse, right? It says Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked, because it's yet for an appointed time. He's been saving Esau, for the great destruction to come. He's been saving Esau from them ICBM nuclear missiles, man. Them arrows that are going to be shot from all the ends of the earth, from all other nations, man. He's saving Esau for that great destruction, which is the second death, man. Okay? It says, Yahweh is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. Yahweh has his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. It says, he rebuketh the sea and maketh it dry, and drieth up all the rivers. Bashan languisheth, and Carmel and the flower of Lebanon languisheth. The mountains quake at him, and the hills melt, and the earth is burned at his presence. Yea, the world and all that dwell therein. Who can stand before his indignation, and who can abide in the fierceness of his anger? His fury is poured out like fire, and the rocks are thrown down by him. Yahweh, thy power is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. And like I said, the day of trouble is coming. That great tribulation, man, that great insurrection of Esau, because, Esau knows he has but a short time. So he's going to come down like a flood to destroy the children of Israel, to destroy the very elect. He's going to be trying to round us up, throw some of us into prison. He's going to have us as pilgrims upon the earth. And this is what we're going to need Yahweh Bashim Yahushua to stand up for us, man. Because we know in the day of that power, a lot will wake up to this truth. But the Heavenly Father knows those who actually fear him and who abide in his law and in his name, man. All right. That's why it says, verse 7, it says, Yahweh is good and a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. That's why I can, even though all these things are coming, even though the great destruction of Babylon is coming, even though the great hour of temptation is coming, we must trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua. My brother Yakanan put up a video basically going into how we must put on like the elect. Because if you put on like the elect, all these things that are coming, you won't fear. Now, we fear Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but we won't fear Esau coming down us, because we know that death is not the end. And we know what's promised to us, those who fear him and abide in his law. All right. Verse 8, it says, but with an overrunning flood, he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. Okay. And it says, what do ye imagine against Yahweh? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. For while they be folded together as thorns, and while they are drunken as drunkards, they shall be devoured as stubble fully dry. There is one come out of thee that imagineth evil against Yahweh, a wicked counselor. Now we know, through the spirit, that's Esau. Okay, Esau believes that they can assert Yahweh Shem Yahushua, that they can be on the same level as Yahweh Shem Yahushua. That's why they're trying to create their miracles on the left-hand side. That's why they're trying to destroy God's chosen people, Yahweh's chosen people. This is why they're doing all the things that they're doing, because they're trying to preserve their kingdom. They want to acquire their birthright back, but they're not going to be able to, because like I said in the beginning, Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time, and it is written as prophecy, and we're supposed to, meditate on prophecy, that Esau will be utterly destroyed, round about by its enemies and its own allies. And this is the righteous indignation of Yahweh Shem Yahushua on his enemies. All right. And it says, verse 12, thus saith Yahweh, though they be quiet and likewise many, yet thus shall they be cut down, whom he shall pass through. Though I have afflicted thee, I will afflict thee no more. For now I will break his yoke from off thee and will burst thy bonds in sunder. And that reminds me of Lamentations 4:21 and 22. Matter of fact, let me go get that and then come right back. Let me see. And the reason why I said it reminds me, because I'm going to bring it out real quick. If you go into Slovakia, Lamentations 4, and I believe it's 21 and 22, talking about I will break thy yoke off their neck. It says, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked. Now here we go. It says, thy punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins, because he's bringing back our captivity, meaning he's going to break thy yoke off of thy necks from Esau and all thy enemies, right? But he's also going to punish the wicked and those that have afflicted his people. All right. And I'm going to go back to Nahum and I'm going to finish this up. All right. Salakia. I got to change the view on this. Where was I just at? Salakia. Nahum chapter 1. I think I was down there, verse 14. It says, right here, verse 13, it says, for now will I break his yoke from off thee and will burst thy bonds in sunder. And Yahweh have given a commandment concerning thee, that no more of thy name be sown. Out of the house of thy gods will I cut off the graven image and the molten image. I will make thy grave, for thou art vile. He bringing these Edomites down, man. It says, behold, upon the mountains the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publishes peace. O Judah, keep the solemn feast, perform thy vows, for the wicked shall no more pass through thee. He is utterly cut off. See, so he's going to preserve the elect. He's going to save his people. The elect, 144,000 and a 1/3. And he's going to take the yoke up off thy necks from the wicked, man. He's going to utterly destroy the wicked. That's why I say in Habakkuk 2 and 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. All these things must come to pass. Esau know he's but a short time, and that's why he's mandating the Pivisor Maxime. He's out here, sowing seeds of discourse with all the other nations, man. But this is all through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. It's all through the will and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, man. So with that, even though I know the Spirit kind of had me moving around with precepts, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom, Akim.